Welcome everyone to Motorsports Almanac, a special series we're going to be doing covering all of the NTPA competitors and all the new programs that NTPA has to offer for this coming season. This will be a 4 episode series highlighting all the competitors that have bought licenses so far. And to help me do that, NTPA Grand National Announcer Charles Poach will be joining me for this 4 episode series. But it's been a little while since we've gotten to do this together.
Has been. It's been a busy spring, and I expect the summer to continue to be that way. But happy to join back up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Always fun for us to get together as always and kind of hatch this idea as the list kind of came out for the competitors we're going to have this year. Super excited for this. So we're going to break this into 4 episodes. Like we said, we're going to have a part one of the tractors and the part two. So for this part here, in part one, we're going to have light supers, super stock diesels, and super stock opens all coming at you. Going to take you through who all has at least bought a license and see what names stand out to us the most right now. So, Charles, you want to take it away? Let's kind of start first too as well. The new programs that have come out, the free entry program and the Galaxy Tour.
Yeah, the free entry program, kind of a follow along a little bit from what the old pre-committed was like, and what it used to kind of offer everybody on a national tour. There's not a drastic difference when it comes to that portion of it, but if you elect to go the extra mile for the Galaxy Tour, the concept is to make the pullers the stars. They are the parts that will make up the constellation of awesome that is going to be the Galaxy Tour in 2025. It's going to open the door for those competitors to a special fund targeting $250,000 in payback to those competitors, and plant a seed, set that established precedence for this sort of a program, and try to grow it. There is a 5-year plan in place to try to grow it and offer more as time goes on. And along with that, in addition to that prize money availability back for you as a competitor, accommodations and meal coverage and parking fees for the banquet, which is going to move to Orlando, Florida in December of 2025. We're going to automate entry for you and make it super simple. The entry information will be available much sooner than it has been in the past, including on the new Ntpa app, which is free to download on both Apple and Android. Got it on my phone already. Looks like there's an event coming up this weekend in North Carolina, weather permitting, of course, and information for that should appear and populate into that app as we go through the weekend. Beyond that, with the Galaxy program, it offers a supply of printed hero cards for you to give away in your pit space and have that fan engagement. Kids love it. Adults love it. They want you to sign them and get pictures taken with you and get introduced to your machinery. That's a good way to activate something like that. And I would look at some of the bigger events. Bowling Green does this, and there will be other events that will as well, for signing, scheduled signing with you guys, all in one spot for the fans to find you. It offers additional crew person licenses, and also for the non-free entry competitors, you'll get a refund on your entry fees upon completion of perfect attendance for the year. So that's just some of what it's going to offer to you, and the basis for an evolution of what the old pre-commit was in a positive direction.
Yeah, and I mean, for this being its first year, this is a really big, I don't want to say a really big change because I think it's a welcome change on the NTPA
Sure.
side of things. Obviously, the free entry list was limited. It looks like to 10 spots in most classes. From what I could tell, minus the super semis, I think there was only 4. But like I said, if they have the free entry, they are almost guaranteed to be in the Galaxy Tour part of it, but there are also others who are not that are a part of the Galaxy Tour. So with all that being said, Charles, we should also highlight that the Galaxy Tour part of it has their own sponsors as well.
They do. That's been worked on to help establish where that fund comes from. And the goal is to spread that word and extend it out. We will highlight some of those as we go through these classes tonight, who the Galaxy Tour portion sponsor is in some of these classes that we're going to discuss.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I give a shout out to the shirt that you're wearing, the Cash Explosion. Love that
I
tractor.
know.
Wish it would come back as a 5.0 Pro. It would still be competitive. You will not change my mind.
I had a hoodie that looked like this too that one of my daughters confiscated because they liked it better than me, I guess.
Awesome. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Of course, I'm going off the Ntpa website. So right off the bat, the first tractor division I have is Light Supers, updated as of 5/9 of 2025. So starting off number one, Colton Whitworth out of Missouri, coming back again this year. The rumor mill going around that is that at least one of the Whitworth's tractors will have a new look, unless I've misunderstood, and it could just be a third Light Super as a whole.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I haven't heard any direction that way either. And they've had a very fruitful partnership with NK over the years. So I guess I'd be kind of surprised if that maybe changed. But these companies all update their marketing programs as they go. It's clearly it's a good tractor. It's your defending champ, and really like where the Whitworths have gotten to with their super program. They seem to kind of struggle for a lot of years. In the last couple of years, it's really come right for them, and it's nice to see.
Yes, it has. So after Colton Whitworth, of course, we have Mr. Terry Blackburn, considered armed and dangerous, multi-time runner, multi-time champion. I mean, what else can
Yeah,
you say besides he's back again for more blood?
he's back for more. 6 grand national titles across multiple classes, 1 regional. I mean, we're going to probably say this a lot tonight, but future Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely. Adding on after that, we're going to go to the other Whitworth tractor, Scott Whitworth with the Bin Buster. Obviously the teammate to Colton there. I think that one did that one finish third in Grand National points last year?
I want to say that it did. I didn't make a note down beyond champions for in prep for this, but picked up a win in Enderley at the end of the year, so it was definitely right there with everybody.
That's always a good end of season boost, and honestly, kind of a momentum gain going into the next season. People don't realize how big getting a win at the end of the year is from a competitor standpoint. But after that, we pretty well have some regulars. Adam Spiegelberg, he's back. Marcus Wilson's back with Gunpowder and Lead. Cody Cheezick, Armed and Dangerous Excessive Force. Rex Kuhn, Letterbuck, John Deere 7250R. Last I
Yeah,
knew, I think Letterbuck. Well, no, it's been green for a little bit. Never mind.
yeah, it's been green for a while.
There was some part of me that wanted to say that's a change from blue, but never mind. After that, Brian Schromick, Williamsburg, Missouri, red, Case IH 210. Chris Linville, Ridge Runner, John Deere 84 or 4840, I'm sorry. And then Mr. John Strickland out of North Carolina with the Galat Ag Code DT 225. So those first 10 right there, those are your free entry competitors right off the bat.
Yep. Kind of interested to see if Cody Cheezick can pile on from his rookie season and have a good sophomore outing here. He's shown that he can drive, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting to watch him.
Is the freshman hangover a real thing, you think?
For some people, it sure seems to be, but other times not. And he's got a lot of good support around him, where I think they will keep him from that.
I absolutely agree. So this the next one on this entry list that kind of caught my eye, and he is going to be running the Galaxy Tour. Brian Bowles with Alter Ego. I don't know if we've ever seen him run the full Ntpa circuit. Now, does that necessarily mean he will? No. But if he's running the Galaxy Tour, you've got to at least believe he's thinking about it.
Yeah, and for Light Super this year, it's an 11 hook commitment. So most of those are a 2-day weekend to be out on the road. I forget what the one single day outlier is. And coming from where he is out of Missouri, that 1 dayer might be a consideration. We'll see where he's at in the points when it comes close, if he decides to keep the commitment. And boy, when he's right, he is right.
Yeah, absolutely. He is. So actually coming down south to my territory, I have Woodbury, Tennessee for these next two. Martin Daniel bringing both on the edge and over the edge. At least as the NTPA license does not have the Galaxy symbol next to his name on the NTPA site as of right now. But those are two tough tractors. Anywhere they go, whether it's PPL, Mid South, NTPA, they've proven themselves to be winners. National Farm Machinery Show champion. I can't remember which one of the tractors it is, but these guys know what they're doing.
Sure do. And he's been in the seat of a pulling tractor for a minute, 48 years of doing this. He kind of knows what to do.
Yeah. And then after that, we've actually have a return of sorts. Haven't seen this tractor in a year at least. Cody Haney out of Athens, Alabama, the John Deere.
Yep.
This one has been kind of when they've been able to make consecutive runs, they've been really competitive, but they've been away for a year. So you almost have to believe there's going to be some sort of overhaul, updating, something new with this John Deere out of Alabama.
I would expect it. Yeah. I would expect it. You can't, at this level, you can't just take a year off and come back and think you're going to be right in it. You're going to have to do some updating. Even if you take a month off, you can fall behind just that easy.
Yeah. After that, yet another return. We haven't seen this guy in quite some time. Kyle Carlin, the bad blood coming to us out of Ohio. Kind of been getting some sneak peek photos of this tractor. Really excited to see it come back out again. Kind of miss having Kyle around and his whole crew around the circuit. They're a lot of fun to be around in the summertime. I'm really anxious to see that tractor run and have them back in contention for wins.
Yeah, and they can do it. It's going to be an AGCO again, but it's going to be updated with what they've learned from the last one. The old chassis was probably, gosh, I don't know, 8-9 years old, and they felt it was time to do it again.
Yes, they did. So the next one, obviously, kind of taking the light superstock world by storm on the Grand National level side of it. None other than the King of Smoke, as in Lane, Dayton, Minnesota. Digging Fever is back as the light super.
Yeah, I understand they put the tractor on quite a diet to really make it work at 6,000 pounds. There was a photo I saw here just a day or two ago. He even changed up his turbo setup to move weight forward and cram 4 chargers in the nose of that thing to get it where it needs to be. It's pretty wild, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Yeah, me too. And I think I've met Esden many a time. We both know it's going to be competitive no matter what, but it's also bringing that aspect back of it's no longer going to be a alcohol run class. The diesel's at least going to take a swing at them. Now, I will be interested to see how that works with the schedule splitting a couple of times, specifically off the top of my head, Brandenburg, Kentucky, and Fort Recovery, Ohio.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what he decides to do.
He's had a fill-in driver before. I think Kevin Lynn was the fill-in driver there at Brandenburg once. After that, going to go to Brendan Phillips and Larry Phillips, longtime NTPA runners. And then we're going to finish it out with Mr. Jerry. How do you say that last name, Charles? Yance with the Spirit of Oliver 1990 white 185. And he has not run the Galaxy Tour. He is just has the license, so I'm sure we'll see him some places like Canton, Ohio, Wellington, Bowling Green. I would have to assume, places like that.
I would say, yeah. It's been a number of years since I've seen the tractor run in person, but certainly 47 years of being a puller, he knows what to do to mix it up with everybody, and never know, might be a surprise that we see an Oliver at the front of Light Super again.
Yep. So, Charles, we're at the end of our Light Super stock list here. I think the grand total was 17 or 18 licenses were bought for Light Super stock this year, but the Galaxy Tour sponsor for this is Northwoods going in for 2025.
Yep, thanks to Northwoods Engineering for stepping in for Light Super.
Absolutely. So moving right along here into the super stock diesels, the big brothers to the light super stocks, obviously. So this is one of the classes that has 8 on the free entry list. But we have both a class sponsor and a Galaxy Tour sponsor. Your presenting sponsor for Diesel Supers this year, New Fields Ag Innovations in your fields. Charles, you want to start us off reading the first name on that list?
15 hooks for these guys this year, and right out of the gate, number one, your defending champ, Colin Ross. Resume speaks for itself with triple bypass coming out of Pennsylvania. I'm sure he will be once again loaded for bear for another season. He'll be followed up with Esden Lane. What can you say? 12-time champ with red line fever. We kind of alluded to it. There may be some splits when he's got to be out there and where he's going to be out at, but it'll get handled, I'm sure. Number 3 on the list is Kent Payne, the Super Rooster. GN title to his credit, a couple regional nationals as well, a couple of Bowling Green ring wins, and Rooster horsepower. He's another one of these guys that knows how to build an engine, doesn't just do his own tractor. He works for several other competitors and everything up to Super Semi, so it's always a threat. And then the Bone Twister, the mayor of Marengo, is number 4 on the list. The 12-year veteran. Boy, it feels like it's been so much longer than that.
Yeah, it really does. We touched on that in his interview. If you guys haven't seen that yet, go back and watch that. He has some new ideas for this year, and I'm not going to allude to what they are here because I'm sure I will absolutely mess up what his ideas are. But go back and watch the interview we did with him last show, and it'll really open up your eyes. It has to do with the amount of water that you're running out of, put it that way.
Doesn't surprise me to hear that about him. I mean, when he came out in the winter of, I guess it was 2013, with the setup that he has been sort of consistently running since, it shocked the world what that thing would do. And if you would have told everybody that he was going to run as hard as he did, everybody would have said you're crazy, but he proved it, and he's been there ever since.
Yeah, he has. And we actually touched on that, and we called it the winter. I don't know. We had a specific name for it, the winter tour, some sort of odd name. But number 5 on the list, Steve Burge, Lynn, Indiana. Lock and load, long-time Grand National runner. After that, we have our first John Deere, Roger Peterson out of Minnesota. Just another one, John Deere 6030. He is on the free entry list, so that tells me right off the bat he is planning on making the full swing.
I hope so. 50 years of doing it, and it'd be an honor to have him out there with everybody.
Yeah, it would. So kind of going
he's the green one that keeps all the red ones honest.
Yeah, he really does. That's a fact. I can tell you that from running with him and pull offs with my brother and everything like that. But we're kind of hitting into a little bit more of a diversity effect here with our next one. Kyle Holland, St. Paul, Indiana, Black Tornado revived. Agco DT275B, former Light Pro competitor turned to Diesel Super. They were successful in Light Pro. I can only imagine that they're going to be successful in some shape or form in Diesel Super as well.
The Big Pro ran hard last year. They proved that they could step up with a high horsepower machine, and saw the first photo of this new Agco today. Nice looking Ace chassis underneath it, and 2 big tall stacks sticking out of the hood. Nothing better.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that hood came off of Legacy or an old Youngblood hood? Just by the way it looks to me, it looks really familiar. The way it sits.
Yeah, I would buy that for $1 that possibly could have, or at least been copied from.
Yeah, that's what I agree with as well. So the last one on the free entry list, Adam Bauer, Peyton, Iowa, Diesel Super. It doesn't say if it's a John Deere. It doesn't say if it's a red one or not on my screen. It might on yours.
No, well, pictures are out there.
John Deere though.
John Deere body, IH motor,
Red Heart.
It's been rumored for a long time. It's finally going to happen. I'm excited to see it. He has been so successful with spark plug stuff. I don't expect him to be any different. And when I read this afternoon that he's been pulling for 34 years, that just surprises me. But it also surprised me to learn here in the last year or two that he's the winningest mini rod puller there's been. It feels like I've been watching him do this the whole time, and not enough years have elapsed to compile that sort of record. But you know what? It sure has. He's been that good.
Yeah, I can remember back in the days of him running 2 mini rods and a light mod and the unlimited all at the same time. So
Sure.
now we're just going to throw even more chaos in the middle of it with the diesel super.
Good illusion by saying chaos.
Yeah, I know that's a fair point. Built by chaos all through and through. After that, we're going to jump into. So there's not as many Galaxy Tour competitors here, but the names are still here. That's for
Sure.
sure. Bell Fances are here again. As always, Steven Stan Blagrave have bought the license, but we all know the excursion that they're on, and I use the term excursion because their machine is currently on a boat heading to the Power Weekend over in the Netherlands.
Yeah, they did buy into the Galaxy Tour, but at this point, not even they know when the tractor is going to be back from Mata to be on our shores and ready to run again. And we'll just be happy to have them whenever they get back. And I hope they have a great time over there. Everybody says it is something to see to be at that event.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear the stories because you know they're going to have stories whenever they come back. So
They did
based
from
off,
before. This is their second time going to Europe, so they kind of know a little bit what they're in for.
oh, they have been before.
Yeah.
Okay, I was under the impression this was their first time going. Okay. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. So now we're gonna kind of start the first of the newcomers, not to the diesel super class, but to the NTPA side of things as far as buying licenses, right? We've got two back to back here. Tyler Beckman out of Waverly, Iowa, the Born Green 1992 John Deere. He's been a tough runner with the Outlaws for a very long time. Bought the Grand National
Yes.
license this year, not running the Galaxy Tour side of things, so that kind of leaves my brain to allude that he's going to go wherever he wants to go and when he can go because they are big time farming.
Yeah, he's a past outlaw champion, and usually when we get out west, especially Rockwell, Iowa, if there's not a conflict, he'll show up and run. And heck of a nice guy, and it's cool. It'd be cool to see him hit a few GMs. I'd love it.
Yeah, me too. And then we've seen this one before, and he turned heads last year at the Pullers Championship for the first time.
Yes.
Brad Campbell, Ravenna, Nebraska, maybe. I don't know if there's a more fitting name for a diesel super stock than maybe.
Yeah, I think he would say the same. He was very nice to give us a full rundown on the setup of the tractor at TPC a year or two ago, and yeah, it's a nice piece. They've got something to work with here, and nice people on top of that. They're again another one from out west. I'd like to see play with us some more.
Yep. Going into the Badger State, Joe digging hard, International 5488, and you know I love a good 88 tractor. This tractor has been painted. I've been following along on the social media all winter long. They have it painted up right, have the right fenders on it. I can't wait to see the final piece.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's going to take some adjustment when I look up toward the staging lanes to not mistake them for someone else because I got so used to the boxcar Magnum. But you know what? I'm a sucker for 88s too, so it's cool.
Yeah, me too. Matt Goodwin, Farmville, Iowa. The Intimidator, no Galaxy Tour, but I suspect we'll see him. Rockwell, Bowling Green, Sandwich. He typically tries to go to. Fort
Toma
Recovery,
probably.
probably.
Yeah.
I don't know about Hutch. I don't know about there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's quite going to be ready to start, but we'll see.
Yep. Coming up after that, kind of a guy I know probably better than anybody on this list, I would say. My brother Brandon, living a dream.
I would hope you do.
Yeah. Had to make it seem like that, though. Run the Galaxy Tour. Super excited for that. Yeah, so let's just kind of talk about him for a second. Got out more last year than he had been. Went to Fort Recovery. Went to Chapel Hill. Got invited to the Enderley pull-off, went to Bowling Green, went to Sandwich. Just kind of need Hutch and Toma to finish it off there, but unfortunately with the time, it just falls in on for us down here and the harvest and everything. It just makes it more difficult.
Sure.
I really hope he comes to Rockwell this year. I'm trying to talk him into it because if you get one, you're going to get both.
There you
For
go.
my own selfish reasons, I can't help myself. After that, another one that we've seen run out west, but he's mixed it in with the Ntpa before. Minneapolis molding sheet metal, none other than Doug Meisinger, Goodland, Kansas, where he calls home.
Yeah, when he backs off the trailer, you know that he's there. He's a threat to go toe to toe with literally anybody here. Just the travel schedule becomes tough. I mean, he's so far out there in Kansas, he can walk outside the shop door and practically throw a rock into Colorado. That's how far out he is.
Oh wow. Yep. I remember whenever he made I don't want to say it was his first Ntpa hook because I'm sure he had hooked with the Ntpa before that, but all of a sudden I think an outlaw hook got rained out somewhere and some of the diesel supers loaded up and went to I can't remember where they were, but he showed up and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, Scrappy's at the Ntpa hook. Oh wow." So now he's
First
about the
time I
Grand
remember
National
seeing him.
license.
First time I remember seeing him that sticks in my head was 2020 Rockwell because it was COVID year and nobody was pulling,
Yeah.
and so he was there.
I do. And then rounding out our diesel superstock field, Jason Schultz, Richland Center, Wisconsin. The Remedy, former high-tech redneck tractor. Going to be hauling with Meisinger from my understanding this year, and can't wait to see how they mix up with the Grand National boys.
Yeah, and with Jason buying the Galaxy Tour license, kind of makes me think maybe Doug will get drawn along. But I also know Doug sat out all last year too, just too busy in the shop and customer stuff to get done, and so we'll just have to see if he's going to be ready to rip.
Yep. And that's going to round out our diesel super stocks. A whole bunch of them going to be available this summer, it looks like. And the presenting sponsor for the Galaxy Tour, Superstock Diesel Winter Circle, sponsored by Fair Valley Performance. Big thank you to them for coming on with the Ntpa Superstock Diesels this year, being their Galaxy sponsor, as well as New Fields Ag being the title sponsor for the class.
Yeah, happy to see Fair Valley stepping up into this position. They have invested tremendously in their capabilities. Diesel performance, turbos and pumps, literally out of a dairy barn. Go to their website and take a look if you don't believe me. They bought out a lot of the stuff that Columbus Diesel had, and they've finally gotten their version of the billet pump ready to go. And I think at least one has made it off the test stand this winter, and be available to everybody as quickly as they could ramp up.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to have one more division before we wrap up part one of our Ntpa tractors preview for the 2025 season. Going in Superstock Open, a bunch of familiar faces, but a couple of familiar faces in new classes. Terry
Sure.
Blackburn, extremely armed and dangerous right off the bat. Already know he's going to be a tough one to beat. Zane Daly, Rutton Deer 2. He's kind of one that I kind of look at to be that guy that kind of has his breakout year finally.
Yeah, it's out there for him to do it. He's got good iron underneath him for sure, and tons of support, both from the tractor's owner and Bob Gansimer and Blackmore Racing Components. So it's there. The parts are there.
Yeah, it is. Like we said earlier, Cody Cheezick, armed and dangerous, HD, going to be on the 6-cylinder, trying to tear it up again. Robert Gansmer out of Wisconsin with Rutton Deer. John Strickland, Galot 2. Scott Whitworth, Field Forge, going to be making his return. And Neil Gettinger, lessons learned. He is on the free entry, and I don't remember ever seeing him on the pre-commit list before even the free entry was a thing.
I would tend to agree with you. I'm not sure that he ever necessarily did. He's hooked GN pulls before, but never a full tour that I can recall.
He doesn't have the Galaxy Tour next to his name, but he's on the free entry program. So take that as you will.
Well, there's another Genninger down here towards the bottom that does. So
Yeah, who knows? I'm gonna say Barry
Elliker.
Greenville, Ohio, the Buckeye Bandit, John Deere 7930. Is that the John Deere construction painted? Is that
Yeah,
the
it's the
yellow
industrial
that he
colors
calls
one.
that?
Yep.
Okay.
A couple
Super
of
excited to
regional
see him
national
again.
titles to his credit. He's got a good tractor. He's got a good hot rod.
He's made noise on Grand National hooks before. We've seen
Sure.
him upset some apple carts before. So now this is the one that really stuck out in my mind. John Raymond, Caledonia, New York, John Deere 5020 in the Super Stock Open. I had heard rumors that the diesel was done. This still isn't a confirmation because it's technically Super Stock Open, but I'm kind of leaning towards we're going to have a new engine combination underneath the hood for John Raymond.
I kind of think so. As much as I'd love to say that it's going to throw smoke, it's probably not going to.
Yeah. And I mean, we both know watching from the sidelines, he's been fighting some bugs and everything. And just when he got it figured out, there was another bug that would come along. So,
Yep.
if you get tired of it, switch something new and get a fresh mind and fresh eyes on something.
He for sure fought it, but he was also trying stuff that I don't think really anybody else was. And with time and patience, maybe they would have got it and had something to show. But yeah, at some point you got to realize, I'm maybe not having fun here anymore, and it's time to change something out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're going way out on the West Coast for this next one. Alan Babel, under the influence, John Deere 7920, buying the Grand National license. They're supposed to be spending some time over here on this side of the United States. And I'm really excited to see them again. Always get to see them at Bowling Green and hang out with them. But I really hope to see them run the full thing this year.
Yeah, that would be cool. Super nice people, fun to hang around with. Yeah, I'm with you. It'd be great to have them out there as much as possible.
Yeah. Super exciting things going on in California too, for sure. They have a lot of great events. I think they tallied up their events last time on the show, and I think they had like 57 of tractor pulling events going on in California this year alone.
Yeah, people don't realize how big it is up there in the valley. I mean, everybody thinks that California is just San Francisco and Los Angeles. There's way more to that state and a lot more going on.
Yeah, there really is. So this next one, I laid eyes on for the first time at the National Farm Machinery Show this past year. This tractor took the place of Lessons Learned, Mark Benninger, Montpelier, Indiana. This tractor was driven by Mr. Neil Gettinger at the National Farm Machinery Show. The Warrior 305 Case IH Old Southern Express hood on this one, and it made some noise at the National Farm Machinery Show this past winter time. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it was my first time seeing it. In fact, there's a group chat that several of us all belong to, and the picture posted up in there. Who is that? What is that? I didn't recognize it, so it was new for me at Farm Show too.
Yeah, and I think it left the lasting impression like, hey, I'm here, I can run. I think
Sure.
it ended up in the top 3 of the finals, didn't it? Didn't it end up like number 2 or number 3?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't recall at this point.
I only ask you for one specific reason. That's because I just flat out don't remember.
I don't either.
Yeah, but our last one on our list, rounding this out, Mark Allen Gettinger, Cambridge City, Indiana, Alice Chalmers. Now, I have no absolutely idea what this one is, but I'm guessing by the look on your face, you do.
I've heard rumors that something was coming. He's been doing this over 60 years, and it was always D21s before. Pretty sure it's going to be a D21 again.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see that tractor back out on the circuit this summer. I think he made a couple of test hooks here and there. Now that I kind of think back more to the later part of the summer, maybe it was out a little bit. I really don't know.
Well, they had a John Deere that was out too. The family did.
They did.
Some
You're right.
ideal combo shows. I'm not sure the ACs made it out. The John Deere did.
All right, fair point. But like we said, y'all, this is just part 1 of this 4 episode series into episode number 1 here for you. If you guys haven't already, make sure you're like, sharing, subscribing to this series so you don't miss the next episode of it. Again, big thank you to the sponsors for all the classes. Northwoods Engineering for being the Galaxy sponsor of the Light Supers, Newfield's Ag Solutions, Innovations in Your Fields, and the Galaxy Tour sponsor for Superstock Diesels was Fair Valley Performance. And that is all she wrote for us here. Until next time, part 2 will be coming out very soon. We will see you guys then. See you later.